Only those who've toiled under the sun in the fields truly understand the value of hard-earned crops. But here in the state of Georgia, that hard work is constantly threatened by an uninvited menace, wild hogs. Wherever they go, destruction follows. They tear through farmland, leaving devastation in their wake. That's why we're here. Every mile we roll across Georgia's red soil, every hour spent under the blazing sun, we serve as a shield standing between these invaders and the peace of our farming communities. So, hop in, grip the wheel tight, and follow us on this mission to face one of the most intelligent and destructive invasive species in America. Morning is the time for strategy. After a night of foraging, wild hogs retreat to thick-covered hillsides to hide. The battle here isn't about speed, it's about patience, sharp instincts, and the ability to read the land. At first light, we took position along one of their usual travel routes. And just as planned, a wild hog came charging up the hillside at a terrifying speed. A hail of bullets rained down, but as if protected by some unseen force, it slipped through and escaped unharmed. Not the smoothest start, but this early failure only fueled our determination. What do you think? Was it pure luck on its part, or were we just too eager to pull the trigger? The sting of that missed shot was still fresh when the chance for redemption appeared. Another wild hog stepped into the clearing like a challenge thrown straight at us. This time we took our time. Every shot was calculated, every angle covered to cut off its escape. And finally, a round found its mark, turning earlier frustration into a sweet, satisfying victory. On this side of the red dirt hillside, the tension was just as high. A wild hog came barreling down at incredible speed. A tough shot for even the best marksman. But the moment it crossed perfectly perpendicular to the barrel, the shot was fired, neutralizing the threat instantly. Following the trail of the one that got away, James made his way to the other hillside, taking cover behind sparse branches. And there it was, but this time it had a smaller companion by its side. His mind was locked onto the main target, but in that split-second decision, the bullet found the tag-along instead. The smaller animal dropped, and the hog he'd been tracking, once again, it vanished into the depths of the forest. As the sun reached its peak in Georgia's heat began to weigh heavy, we knew the battlefield had shifted. The wild hogs would no longer roam the open hillsides. They'd now retreat into the brush and thickets of the lowlands to hide. Out on the lowland side, John was tucked into the brush, waiting for his moment. When the wild hog came charging straight in, the one-on-one showdown began. Sensing danger, it tried to veer off, but the barrel of John's gun didn't give it that chance. Boom! One shot, and all its desperate efforts came to a crashing end. Amidst the endless sea of grass, a thick, solid hog was calmly enjoying the peace. But as David approached, it didn't run. Instead, it turned into a torpedo, charging straight at him. 2 gunshots rang out not just in self-defense, but to protect the balance of this land. The sky warned of rain on the horizon, pushing us to chase one final victory. Our truck tore across the lush green field, aiming to cut it off with a bold move. But the wild hog was too clever. It spun around in a perfect 180 and vanished into thin air, leaving me with nothing but a bitter taste of defeat. sun had fully dipped behind the pine trees, and the engine of the Jeep Gladiator was slowly cooling down. A long day came to an end with many achievements, but also a lesson learned from a clever escapee. Today's haul would be taken straight to the processing plant, some destined for hearty barbecue feasts shared with the whole village, the rest given to the farming families we protect. The greatest joy isn't in how much we bagged, but in seeing the smiles and peace of mind on everyone's faces. For us, the war against wild boars never truly ends. They appear all year round, at any time of day or season. In autumn, when dry leaves crunch under our feet, every hunt brings a different kind of challenge. But when winter arrives, snow blanketing the mountains, cold cutting to the bone, the battle turns into something entirely different. Each season is a new battlefield, yet our mission never changes: to stop the advance of these destructive beasts. Today, come with us and see how we face them. Hunting is never simple. Behind every shot are hours of watching, calculating, and waiting in absolute silence. It is a duel between human patience and nature's wariness. And then, the moment finally comes. Our first target of the day appears. The forest is swallowed in thick snow, trees stripped bare like silent sentinels. From afar comes the crunching of snow under heavy steps, a herd of wild boars marching forward, unaware that death lurks close. Bang! The gunfire slices through the frozen air like blades. 2 boars collapse into the snow, while the rest scatter in panic, vanishing into the depths of the forest. Hidden behind bare branches, suddenly, A massive boar bursts out from the cold gray trunks, charging straight at me with brute force. No time to think. Boom! The bullet rips through the air, striking the beast square in the head. It crashes onto the snow. On the other side, our golden-furred companion leads the target into the open with a furious bark, supporting David. As if on cue, boom! The shot shatters the silence. The beast staggers, collapses, and sinks into the white expanse as though blown out of existence by an invisible winter gale. On another ridge, our teammate Thomas has taken position as planned. The hillside is a harsh place, cliffs and steep slopes, where wild boars often hide deep in the brush or crawl into dark crevices, making them almost impossible to spot. As Thomas moves along the slope, a wild boar suddenly bursts out like an arrow through the silence. With 10 years of hunting experience, Thomas reacts instantly, rifle raised, aim fired. Bang!
Come on.
Further down the slope, a boar is casually enjoying its midday meal, unaware that it's already in our sights. But it's too late. Rifle loaded, Thomas locks his eyes on the target. The shot is clean, direct, lethal. The boar drops instantly. What do you think? Was that a perfect 10? Let my teammate know in the comments. Halfway down the hillside, cautious boars emerge from the dense brush. Holding my breath, I raise my rifle. Eyes sharp, fixed on their every move. The click of the bolt echoes in the stillness. 2 shots ring out across the slope, both striking true, both fatal. Today, we've claimed plenty of trophies. Our legs ache, our bodies are exhausted after the long hunt, yet our hearts are full. It's not only the thrill of the kill, it's the relief of knowing we've helped protect the land from destruction. And perhaps, tomorrow, the journey begins again, hardships and surprises waiting ahead.
Traversing treacherous mountain slopes, weaving through dense thickets of grass, these resolute marksmen are unstoppable in their determination. The battle begins to protect crops, land, and livestock from the claws of wild beasts. The thrilling moments below will keep you glued to the screen. Which scene left you stunned? Stick around until the end to pick the hunt that impressed you the most. A perfect ambush kicked off today's battle. Kevin's team arrived early, swiftly moving into their pre-assigned positions. Soon after, on the mountainside, rustling sounds from the bushes ahead put Kevin on high alert. The moment he faced the beast, a decisive gunshot rang out, cutting off the lead boar's escape route. The rest of the herd turned and fled into the thickets, vanishing in an instant. The battle had officially begun. At the base of the mountain, a seamless coordination between Kevin and his team unfolded. From a distance, a familiar silhouette emerged, frantically charging through the dense bushes, but it made a fatal mistake by veering straight toward Kevin. Instantly, a barrage of gunfire erupted, halting every attempt to escape. The beast collapsed on the ground, unable to take another step. Another threat was eradicated from this land. At another position, through binoculars, a marksman spotted a wild boar darting toward cover on the opposite mountainside. The moment its body came into view, gunshots rang out in succession, instantly halting its escape. A precise shot neutralized yet another threat before it could vanish. Leaving the fierce battle on the mountainside, we turn to a tense pursuit unfolding in Spain. While scanning every movement around, a wild boar suddenly appeared but couldn't escape the hunter's crosshairs. In an instant, a barrage of bullets was unleashed, completely thwarting the beast's attempt to flee. A decisive strike, timely saving the fields below. Amid the reeds, the barking of hunting dogs signaled the presence of a wild boar. Jamie swiftly closed in, only for a massive boar to suddenly charge into view. He stayed calm, took careful aim, and pulled the trigger. A decisive shot halted the beast's attempt to attack just in time. A heart-pounding moment. You can't help but admire the composure of these professional hunters. At this moment, in another location, the beasts lurking in the tall grass fell into the sights of the marksmen. Without hesitation, they swiftly took position, and a barrage of gunfire erupted. One by one, the boars were taken down, leaving no chance for escape. A decisive strike completely neutralized the threat they posed to the land.
Hadi bakalım. Çok güzel.
Wild boars, creatures once thought to lurk only in deep forests, have now invaded the plains, causing unimaginable damage. They not only destroy crops, but also leave villagers living in fear as night falls. Faced with this crisis, what will farmers and hunters do to reclaim peace? Join us in a heart-pounding pursuit where the line between man and beast is drawn by a single gunshot. First, join us as we step into the chilly night of rural America, where giant wild boars exploit the cover of darkness to ravage fields and livestock pens. Guns, thermal binoculars, infrared lights. Everything has been meticulously prepared for a heart-pounding hunt under the moonlight. We drove for about an hour to reach the hunting area. The silence was eerie and unsettling. From a distance, a herd of beasts was quietly tearing through a cornfield. I quickly raised my rifle, locked onto the target, and pulled the trigger. The gunshot shattered the night's silence. One boar was hit and collapsed to the ground. The rest scattered in panic, fleeing in all directions. Not missing the opportunity, we decided to track down the surviving boars. A target was spotted. Swiftly raising my rifle, I pulled the trigger. The sharp crack of the bullet echoed through the silent night. One beast collapsed, motionless on the cold grass. The night hunt concluded with victory for the seasoned hunters. After a tense night, the first light of dawn dispelled the darkness. Seizing the moment, we swiftly moved up the mountain for a daytime hunt, where the prey roams actively under the radiant sunlight. Join us as we continue this thrilling pursuit of the beasts. Silently weaving through dense bushes, a dark shadow suddenly darted out in front of me. Reacting in a split second, I raised my rifle and fired. The blast echoed through the mountains and forest. The beast struck squarely in its midsection. It collapsed onto the dry ground, thrashing briefly before gradually losing its ability to resist. The gunshot shattered the silence, sending the surrounding wild boars into chaos. The frantic barking of hunting dogs signaled the presence of other prey. As expected, a group of wild boars was hiding, hoping to evade my rifle. Without hesitation, I swiftly raised my gun and locked on the target. A clean shot rang out, and the lead boar was hit, collapsing in the middle of the forest without making a sound. As we descended the mountain, we encountered stray boars from the herd busily foraging. Aiming from a distance, I fired a single shot at the target. It collapsed and lay still instantly. The remaining boar fled in panic, leaving behind an eerily silent scene. The daytime hunt concluded with the giant beast herd as the defeated. Today's journey of night and day hunting has come to a close. From the silent darkness to the radiant daylight, each moment brought its own challenges. But with seamless coordination and precise shots, we emerged victorious. Everything was conducted in legal areas and in compliance with regulations.